What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Bryce, and today I'm going to read chapter 24 of the Parker Inheritance. Let's begin. Chapter 24. After leaving the high school, Candace spent the next few hours in her room looking through the Wallace yearbooks again, hoping to find anyone who could have been James Parker. She thought about calling Brandon to see what progress he made, but she didn't want to talk to him right then. It would have just reminded her of their run-in with the assistant principal. Candace finally gave up when her mother poked her head in her room. "I'm about to start dinner. Want to help?" Nodding, Candace crawled out of bed and followed her mom down the hallway. "Got a taste for anything?" her mom asked. "There's a plenty to choose from." Candace's dad had gone shopping while he was in town and had stocked up on enough food to last for 2 weeks. "You pick," Candace said. "I'm not really hungry." Her mom grabbed a package of king salmon from the fridge and held it up to her. "Your father and his fancy foods," she muttered. "Grab a bowl. Why don't you start with the salad?" Candace searched the cabinets for a large salad bowl while her mom pulled food from the refrigerator. They worked side by side for a while, cleaning all the food, neither speaking. Finally, her mother asked, "Did something happen between you and Brandon?" Candace began to pull the lettuce apart. "No, what makes you think that?" "Juanita called about an hour ago. She said Brandon was pretty upset when she got home. But he wouldn't say why." She washed her hands and patted them dry. "You sure everything's okay?" Candace ripped the lettuce into even smaller pieces. It felt good to be doing something with her hands. "It's nothing. Something stupid. Silly." "Stupid? Silly? I don't care what words you use." Her mother pulled the salad bowl away from her. "What happened?" Candace could feel the sting behind her eyes again. Someone vandalized one of the yearbooks we were looking at," she said. "And then the assistant principal accused us of trying to break into the school or something like that." She looked at the floor, "Probably because we didn't look like high school kids." Her mom tilted Candace's face up. "Are you sure that's why? Or maybe it's because we're black." "Facts." She said it like a question, like she was doubting what she knew was true. Her mother opened her arms, welcoming Candace in. "Why are people so mean?" Candace asked once she had explained what had happened. Her face was smashed into her mother's shirt. It was hard to breathe, but she didn't want to move. "We weren't doing anything wrong." "Old habits, old opinions die hard. He probably thinks all black kids are hoodlums." "It's not fair." "I know," her mom said, rocking and squeezing her tighter. "Mom, you're smushing me." "Sorry," she loosened her grip. "It's taking everything inside of me not to jump in the car and hunt down this assistant principal right now." She leaned back so she could see Candace. "I'll call Juanita tonight. She and I will figure something out." "What's his name?" "Mr. Rittenhauer." "But Mom." "No buts," she said. "I'm your mom. It's my job to deal with things like this. I want to make sure this doesn't happen again to you or any other kid." "What about your writing?" Candace asked. "Your schedule?" "You're more than important than that." She tapped Candace's nose. "You do know that, right? Whenever you need me, I'll always be there." Candace nodded. "I know, Mom." "Good." She let her daughter go. "Anything else you want to tell me?" Candace returned the bowl of lettuce. There were a million things they should be talking about. The letter, Milo, Brandon, her dad, Danielle. She pushed those things out of her head. Those weren't important, at least not right then. "Are we poor?" she asked. "I'm a writer," her mother smiled. "Of course we are." "I'm serious, Mom. Are we really selling the house in Atlanta because it's too big or it is too expensive?" Her mother took a deep breath. "Maybe a little of both. We don't need all that extra room, and it costs a lot of money to heat and cool that house. But yes, the mortgage is really expensive too. Even with your father's alimony, it's a lot for us to cover." "Are we going to be okay once we sell the house?" Yeah, I think there will be an adjustment. I may take on a few more writing projects. You've got, you've already got 3. Maybe I'll teach, she said. The community college is always looking for instructors. You've always said you couldn't teach and write at the same time, so maybe I won't write. Candace opened her mouth to argue, but her mother cut her off. Don't worry, things aren't that bad, and your father and I always have a backup plan just in case. Plan B. She looked at the fancy salmon. I was about to say salmon. Salmon. Though, I'll have to work on your father's spending habits. Candace crossed her arms and pinched her sides. Since her mother was talking about money, maybe she'd be honest about a few other things too. Maybe when Dad's at home, he's not buying groceries just for him. Candace said. When I hugged him the other day, he smelled like he was wearing a new cologne. It was citrusy. Her mother began pulling slices from the cabinet. Salt, pepper, paprika, thyme, it's pronounced thyme, and oregano. Then she grabbed the cooking wine. It wasn't very strong at all, not like real wine, but Candace still felt a little sophisticated whenever her mother used it. He does have a girlfriend, doesn't he? She moved to block her mother from the fish. She moved to block her mother from the fish. I heard you guys talking in the kitchen the other day. You mentioned someone named Danielle. I didn't say. Her mother rearranged the spices on the counter. You shouldn't eavesdrop. You can't always be sure you're hearing the right thing. Facts. So Dad's not seeing someone? I didn't say that. So he is seeing someone. I didn't say that either, she sighed. This, my dear, is something you should take up with your father. All I'll say is, I just want him to be happy. I know I'm not the right person for him. You guys sound a lot alike. That's what happens when you're married for a long time. She leaned in and kissed Candace's forehead. Enough talk about your father and his love life. This, the big Juneteenth festival is on Saturday. Do you want to go? Sure, Candace said, grabbing a cucumber. But shouldn't you be writing? I'll get the writing done, I promise. Her mother rubbed some spice into the fish. Your grandma started a festival when she was city manager. She always saw it was one of her best achievements. Her mother paused, and Candace thought she would say more, but she just flipped over the fish to season the other side. Candace began to cut up the cucumber. Can I invite Brandon to the festival too? I already did. I talked with his mom about this afternoon. I figured it would be good to have some friends there for moral support. Oh, why? Because it's at Vickers Park, her mother said. The scene of the crime. So that's chapter 24. So tomorrow I'll be reading chapter 25. And that's about it. Peace out.